Hey, it's Rico and our Foster White, Foster the Persix, Foster23, really whatever you want to call me, Dab, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Hello again. Welcome back to another commentary 4-soul strategy video. We're back at it. Had the idea, I was like, you know what? I get destroyed in the early game. Sometimes, if I'm some characters, but sometimes I don't. And sometimes I steamroll. And when I steamroll, it's because I get a lucky few items. The best items that you can get for success in the early game. Stuff to set you up so in the future you have a chance of winning the game. Right into the honorable mentions. First honorable mention, the compass. At the end of your turn, look at the top 4 cards of the loot deck. You may put them back in any order. Kind of like an extremely nerfed Kain, but I think it's really valuable to be able to look at loot deck so you can try to figure out like, oh, that monster's easy, that's a loot one, maybe he can fight that and blah, 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 and then maybe I can get whatever the card may be that you would want. The reason I didn't put this in the top 5 though, and that's an honorable mention, is who the fuck wants compass? Next up, we have Suicide King for an honorable mention. Or each time you died before paying penalties, loot 3. So let's say you had a trinket and you had this, right? You died twice. There's gonna be 6 loot cards that, I mean, those could be anything. It could even be the Lost Soul. So, actually, I often do buy this card, but early game especially really is only helpful if you get like another card with it. Third and final honorable mention, I don't really know what my thoughts are on it. A lot of the Eternal items are tappables, and so just being able to gain 1 extra cent, especially just in the early game where cents are so valuable. I wouldn't recommend going out to try to buy this when other stuff could be on the board. This is just something that is useful early game, and honestly not really useful in any other part of the game. Okay, here we have the top 5 list. And also, like, you would think to yourself like, oh, Tech X is really useful in the early game. That's not really where I'm trying to go with this. It's not the most powerful items, because the most powerful items are the most powerful items. I'm trying to go for more like, oh, if you think about it, these are the kind of the best items to get like early game, like the compass, right? Like you would think to yourself like, when's the best time to get this item? The best time to get this item would be the early game, in my opinion. At number 5, we have Smartfly. Tap to look at the top card of any deck. You may discard it or place it at the or place it back at the top. Each time you take damage, you may recharge this. I think this is so useful for buying your second item, being able to, I wouldn't really use it on the loot deck because it's early game. Being able to look at the top monster deck card, useful to make sure like, you're like, oh, I could fight Claudia or I could fight blank, and you're like, maybe I should look at top. Top is Delirium. You're like, thank God I didn't do that. Every time you take damage as well. I mean, I think it's a great item. So that's at number 5. Number 4, we have Eye of Greed. It's simply half of Dark Judas. Dark Judas is not only arguably, but is the best character in the game. Every time someone rolls a 5 to gain 3 cents, cents are very important in the early game. And so that is why Eye of Greed is at number 4. We have the Shovel. The Shovel, tap to put any discard monster back on top of the monster deck. Originally in my rankings, I think I had this at like B. I think the Shovel is about an A+ or so as an item. And I know this is early game, but bear with me for a sec. Think about all the times throughout the entire game that like souls get discarded, like monsters get discarded, easy monsters get discarded. You're just able to put any, it's not even the top monster, put any discarded monster back on top of the monster deck. I mean, and it's tappable. It's not even like a destroy item. You can do this every turn, or if you have a battery multiple times, whatever. And especially in the early game, think about like if Codworm was one of the active monsters, or Holy Squirt, and like stuff like that, being able to just tap to put the easy monsters back on top so you can continuously get more and more and more out of it. I think it's elite, and I've used it a lot, and it's incredibly useful. That is why the Shovel is number 3. Okay, so I have bad news. I forgot about an item, and I don't know what to boot. You know what? Eye of Greed got booted out. Some people don't fight in the early game, plus it's like, okay, he didn't roll any 5s, he didn't roll any 5s, my turn, I roll, I die. Okay, bye, Eye of Greed. It's like it didn't do anything, right? At number 3, we have Head of the Keeper. Head of the Keeper is an elite item. Each time you deal damage, gain 1 cent. Each time you kill a monster or player, gain 2 cents. Think about the possibilities here, right? Let's say you're fighting Fatty, right? It's a 4 HP, 2 plus 1 damage. You hurt it 4 times, that's 4 cents. You kill it, that's 2 cents, 6 cents plus loot 1. On your first turn, I mean, what else can you ask for besides a soul, you know? I will also say that these final 3 items paired with Counterfeit Penny is just like the cherry on top. Now let's move to number 2 on our top 5 best cards to get early game in the Binding of Isaac 4 Souls, and number 2 is Midas Touch. Each time a monster is killed, gain 3 cents. I mean, what else can you ask for? Is this Undertale? Are we doing the most passive game of all time of 4 Souls? The no genocide run? You can easily just pass and you don't have to fight anything. It's like you're playing a 4-person game. Everyone kills a monster on their turn. That's 9 cents once it comes back. Like once it's your turn again, you're like, oh shit, I didn't do anything. I got 9 cents. If you have Counterfeit Penny as well, that's 12 cents. You're just able to buy something. Always buy if it's early game, usually buy if it's mid game. Late game, don't touch that shit. Anyways, I will say, I think I might get some people upset with this number 1. Before I reveal this item I have never blinked at before. I would never even, I'd throw up looking at this card. But little did I know, not only would it cause tension throughout the game that you're playing, but it's actually really good for early game. And that item is the Magnet. Each time another player gains cents, they must give you 1 cent. What have I been saying this entire video? Cents are the most useful thing for early game because you're able to get as many treasures as possible, right? This gets you cents because everyone else is trying to get cents. Also incredibly funny when someone's like, all right, I have 8 cents, I'll play this 2 cent card and then I'm gonna buy it. And I go, ooh. Sorry, Blake. That penny's actually mine. And so not only does it screw over other people, and they don't really realize it because who the fuck knows what Magnet does, also is actively giving you cents. Everyone's trying to get cents, so every time they gain cents from either a monster, event card, pills, or a cent card, they're getting cents. Thank you guys so much for watching. One more time going through honorable mentions, we have Eye of Greed, The Compass, Shiny Rock, Suicide King. Top 5, Smart Fly, The Shovel, Head of the Keeper, Midas Touch, the cream of the crop, and the most douchebag card there is, the Magnet. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.